businesses are running on partnership, we need to flow along with the best globe practices. And for those of us that were in attendance during this conference on Wednesday, we had Chief Olijimi lecture us on how partnership will be run. And we did promise that we're going to send this paper to all the members at the end of this AGM or by Monday, Tuesday. I'm sure that the Secretariat will send that paper to our email addresses. So we plead that we follow the trend in the global world. Secretariat staff and operations. We clearly identify the Secretariat as the key to the attainment of our goals and programs of this administration. Council resolved to enable the Secretariat for creativity, innovation, and career growth and better performance. To that end, Council approved 20% increment of salary for all confirmed staff that have spent at least 2 years in the service of the institution without any increment with effect from September 2020. To further motivate the staff, I initiated a reward package for the best performing staff of the month, and the portrait of the staff is displayed at the reception desk at the Secretariat. The essence of this is to encourage our staff to be more innovative and be committed to the service. I give them cash award every month for this. If you want to clap, clap. And I can tell you that it's working very well because these days they are committed to their job. I even want to call on our members to also encourage the staff. It's going to help us a lot. The National Council has provided improved enabling working environment for our staff, as well as career progression and development, human and resources management ideology, with the aim of making the Secretariat a source of pride to the institution. The workforce is strengthened with the engagement of an executive secretary and some other key staff following the implementation of the report of the human resources consultant who carried out a performance evaluation on the Secretariat staff by the immediate past administration, having indicted quite a number of the staff for misconduct, indiscipline, and poor performance in his report. National Council relieved them of their positions, and the vacancy created are being filled. On Saturday, 17th April 2021, the staff at the National Secretariat held a training on the art of delivering excellent services. The aim was to entrench in the staff the culture of excellent service delivery. We are determined to sustain this in the next council year. Plans are also underway to give the National Secretariat and the Lagos Liaison Office a facelift to enhance and improve the image of the Niesv brand. Strategic engagement. Genuine concern over declining quality of professional members and practice standards informed management decision to engage our noble colleagues in private practices with the aim of raising a common front in our efforts to strengthen the standard of practice of the profession. I led management committee in a separate visit to the head offices of Knight Frank and Dear Fatimile & Co., during which discussions were held with the heads of the firms and their management teams. Critically discussed were the issues of dwindling quality of our professional members, rejection of valuation reports, underpayment of estate surveyors and valuers by financial institutions for valuation services. We also considered the option of resolving politically the case in court, particularly the cases in court, particularly the case between Niesv, Ezabon, and the Lagos State government on the issue of Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority, enduring to subject our members to further regulation in estate agency transactions. Management shall visit more leading firms across the country in the coming months. Council is looking into the valuable suggestions made and shall implement them to the latter. Otherwise, the effort and huge expenses on advocacy will yield insignificant impacts if our members do not improve on their competencies, conducts, and standards of professional services. On Wednesday, May 19, 2021, I had an interactive session on the institution's virtual platform with our noble colleagues in the private services. The first of its kind, the presidential initiative sought to address the challenges confronting the public sector practitioners in the performance of their critical roles as government-landed assets valuers and managers. One of such challenges is the appointment of other professionals and administrators into the position meant for our members. There are instances where our members were totally excluded from the agencies, departments, or units where they ought to function or qualify to head by training and competencies. That was when the units were abolished in the name of restructuring. Recommendations were made on the way forward. They shall be fully implemented in due course after Council have deliberated on them. Because in our administration, we don't want to look only on the practitioners, we also want to look at our members that are in the public service and ensure that we all grow together for the betterment of the institution, because we need one another to grow. Please, I need the clapping. Mediation and reconciliation. At the inauguration of this administration, we promised to open a window of mediation and reconciliation, in which case aggrieved members and those who have been sanctioned will have another opportunity to express themselves without destroying the altar of discipline. It is our intention to clear up misunderstandings, find out concerns, and get issues amicably resolved. We inaugurated a committee headed by the 6th president of our institution, SURVEYOR and Valuer Alhaji A.O. Shote, for this purpose. But not much has so far been achieved. We have not closed the door of reconciliation. It is my hope that this well-meant stance will be reciprocated by those on the other side of the divide. The aggrieved members, I hope they will not squander this moment. We shall continue to extend our hands of fellowship to them, and whenever they indicate their interest to return, we shall look at their cases on their individual merits and treat them like fathers. Development of the National Secretariat. The National Secretariat building in Abuja remains a major project in the agenda of this administration. The immediate past administration, headed by SURVEYOR and Valuer Roland Abonta, in which I was the first vice president, took the project, which comprises an office complex on 5 floors with a total area of 5,000 square meters, from the 1st floor to the 5th floor, from the foundation level, which was laid by SURVEYOR and Valuer Patola Ajay, to the roofing level. We are committed to the completion of this project, and this we shall pursue with all vigor to ensure that the building is made functional before the handover to the next administration, by God's grace. It is therefore my way to call on all our members to please contribute immensely to the completion of this building. We have the Hall of Fame that indicates the amount of money that we demand from you. We said for the first 10 million, if you give us 10 million naira, your name will be under the Hall of Fame for gold. If you give us 5 million naira, that will be silver, and 3 million naira will be for bronze. And if you give us 50 million naira, we'll give you 1 floor, and that is what Abuja branch has done. Abuja branch has taken a wing of the 2nd floor, and they have given us a total of 32 million naira. I hereby challenge other branches, especially Lagos State branch. This is the time to know who is the very branch and who is the original branch. I want to plead with other branches to also have a stake in this building by contributing immensely. Our target is that this building should be ready by November, so that by December, our secretariat will move to the new building, and 1st January 2022, the staff will resume in the new building. That's our target, and we can achieve this if you bring in your money. For those that will give us 100 million naira, we are going to give you one floor. The whole of the floor, we will name it after you. So you have an opportunity to immortalize your branch, your name, your family, and whatever. 100 million naira, one floor. You will be called Malam Nuhu's floor. Thank you. Women's wing. Greater women representation is being held by policymakers in most sectors of the economy and by practitioners and scholars as a core value that signals the right way to proceed in organizations. It is implied that this will lead to a higher organizational performance. Some schools of thought also reason that women can add important symbolic value both inside and outside the organization, and greater female representation on management teams can substantially enhance their legitimacy or reputation from social perspective. These and several other factors informed the decision to establish the women's wing of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. Council at its meeting of April 24, 2021 in Benin City approved underlisted as the protein officers of women's wing of the profession with a mandate to run the affairs of the association pending when the AGM will recognize the wing properly, which is expected to be accomplished today, if you agree. After which election shall be conducted to fill in the position. We have the following. You know, I have problem in pronunciation of names. So if I don't pronounce your name well, please forgive me. Estate Surveyor and Valuer Bridget Oraye, Chairman. Estate Surveyor and Valuer Esther Echem, Vice Chairman. Estate Surveyor and Valuer Jimoke Akure, Secretary. Estate Surveyor and Valuer Amina Aliyu, Assistant Secretary. Estate Surveyor and Valuer Martha Frank Ali, Treasurer. And Estate Surveyor and Valuer Sombo Adebisi, Financial Secretary. I want to believe that these persons will pilot the affairs of the wing until when a proper election is conducted. And we believe that they have the capacity to do it. You know, one thing about women is that whatever you give to them, they multiply and give you better. If you give them a house, they multiply and give you a home with children. If you give them groceries, they multiply and give you food. And for us that are men, if you give them sperm, they multiply and give you a child. So you can see how important the women are. Please, a round of applause for the women. If you also give them trouble, they multiply and give you back. You know, I tell people that I don't like when I'm giving address and people are not laughing. I have to crack jokes so that people can laugh and relax. I'm sorry. Young Estate Surveyors and Valuers. The Young Estate Surveyors and Valuers idea was mooted with the aim of sustaining our noble profession whilst adopting the changes with times and technology, using the young ones who have passion and commitment to the development of the institution. The aims and objectives of Young Estate Surveyors and Valuers include, but not limited to, encouraging peer review and growth for the betterment of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, organizing trainings, Estate Surveyors and Valuers, Young Estate Surveyors and Valuers Forum and Symposium, especially during national programs and professional field trips, participating actively in national conferences, NCPDs, and other national programs, sensitizing estate surveying and valuations, estate surveyors and valuers students, bodies, periodically, encouraging the young estate surveyors and valuers to attend branch meetings, developing strong leadership skills among the young estate surveyors and valuers for a smooth generational ascension and support the growth and advancement of members through grants, scholarship, as sponsored by the Niesv Foundation. I hereby present to the AGM the following: Estate Surveyor and Valuer Ayodele Odeleye, Chairman; Estate Surveyor and Valuer Hassan Madaki, Vice Chairman; Estate Surveyor and Valuer Ruth Nene, Secretary. That name is Nene, not Bebe. It's Nene. N instead of E, please change it to N. Estate Surveyor and Valuer Hannah Babatunde, Financial Secretary, and Estate Surveyor and Valuer Carlo Ugwe, Public Secretary. Are they here? Okay, thank you. Conclusion. Distinguished noble colleagues, there are unusual times. COVID-19 has shown us how resilient and adaptable we are and must be when compared by circumstances to change. In these unusual times, we have been forced to learn and embrace and apply new technologies, and there is no going back. I urge you to come to this realization, learn and familiarize yourselves with the latest technology and keep updating your knowledge as more and more of our key events, programs, and activities shall be delivered online. You can see that is exactly what happened in this annual conference. You didn't wait for us to have your tag. You have to print your name tag. The future of our noble profession is very bright, with several potentials awaiting to be unlocked. This calls for endless acquisition of knowledge and competencies, support and cooperation of all our members for the leadership of the institution. I have resolved to keep leading in exemplary manner and to pursue policies and programs that are for the common good of the profession and our members. That is my covenant with you at the inception, and I promise to be faithful to this to the end of my tenure. The Honorary National Secretary and the Honorary National Treasurer shall be presenting the state of affairs, the annual report of the institution, and the accounts in the last 12 months in line with the AGM tradition. This address will not be complete without my genuine appreciation of members of the National Council, my independable and indefatigable management committee members, and the hard-working secretariat staff for their cooperation and support in implementing the programs of this administration. May God continue to bless you all and give you wisdom and give you knowledge that will make us to place the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers in its rightful place. Thank you for listening, and God bless. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. That was my address. I don't know whether there is any issue you want us to discuss from my address. Is there any issue? So, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. To be sure that we are fair to all concerned, we also want to allow our members that are joining us virtually, if you have any comment, please raise your hand. Let us be sure that you are participating with us. And if you have any comment that you think you can also make, you can use the chat room for us to read and get back to you. Noble colleagues, thank you very much, and I appreciate that. We have Estate Surveyor and Valuer O.S. Boroni. Please, can you unmute yourself?
And Mr. President and Chairman of AGM. Okay. Mr. Chairman and Mr. President and Chairman of AGM, I greet you from this part of the world where I am now. It's 3 a.m. I've been awake all night to participate in this conference and this AGM this morning. During the support, I raised my hand to support my ABUJA chairman, and I didn't have that opportunity. Let me use that opportunity now to support my ABUJA chairman with the sum of 50,000 naira.
No, change it to dollar. Please, change it to dollar.
And Mr. President, I'd like to also support
yes, Oboroni, please, change it to dollar, please.
Okay. But there's a conversion rate now. It's 500 now. So, Mr. President, you know the conversion rate. So, I'm so grateful and happy that this conference has been made a global event. I've so commented and the opportunity I've had to participate in this conference from the other side of the globe has been so thrilling to me. I thank the institution, the management, the organizing committee of this conference for making this possible. For those of us, wherever you are in the world, to be part of this conference. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other person that is online? Is there any other person that is joining us virtually that want to make a comment? Oh. Okay, thank you. So we go to the next item on our agenda, which is reading and adoption of minutes of the last AGM. I hereby invite the Secretary to present the minutes.
Mr. President and Chairman of this AGM, permit me to stand on already established protocols. Distinguished noble colleagues, I present to you the minutes of the 50th Annual General Meeting of our institution. That booklet is, the minutes are with you in form of hard copies. Soft copies have also been sent to your emails. Permit me to use this opportunity to also take the apologies of the Chairman of the Board of Trustees who had to leave the conference midway for pressing issues. I understand that S.O. Bello equally sends his apologies. Straight to the minutes, please. In view of the constraints of time, I'll be taking us through these minutes on a page-by-page basis, and I'll be speaking to it. I'll start with page 3, where we have the minutes, where we have the attendance. Page 3, page 4, up to page 13 contains the attendance of the last annual general meeting. Please, if for any reason there's an omission in your name or your names are wrongly spelled, please do us well to send a note to the Secretariat to help us save some time. Thank you, please, for your understanding. Proceedings of the minutes. On page 13, we have the opening where the immediate past president, Roland Abonta, called the meeting to order at 10:34 a.m. and the opening prayer was said by S.A. Sovia Mbalua, Victor Alonge. We have adoption agenda for the meeting. We equally have the president's opening address. That was a valedictory address by ESV Sir Roland Einaya Abonta. That address takes us through page 14, page 15, page 17, page 18, page 19, up to page 21. The valedictory address of S.A. Sovia Mbalua, Sir Roland Abonta, basically went through all the achievements of that administration, as well as suggestions equally for the incoming administration. I'll take us on equally now to page 21, where we have adoption of the president's speech. That speech was moved for adoption by S.A. Sovia Mbalua Toyin Agbalaya, and was seconded by S.A. Sovia Mbalua Olubunmi Ogundiya. Adoption of the minutes, that's the next item. Presentation of the 2020 annual report. That report was presented by the Honorary National Secretary, S.A. Sovia Mbalua Baturi Ali Mohammed. The report was also discussed after its presentation. On page 22, we have ratification of amended Niesv 2012 Constitution. After extensive deliberation of that particular document, the document was adopted by the AGM. Still on page 22, we have ratification of the amended Code of Professional Ethics. After, of course, discussions, deliberations, and ratification of that document stands as a document of the institution. Ratification of appointed replacement of Board of Trustee, that was equally done as late Estate Surveyor and Valuer Akin Olaore was replaced by Estate Surveyor and Valuer Otumba Bola Ona Badejo in line with Article 7.2.3 of the 2012 Constitution. Presentation of financial reports. The financial reports were presented by Estate Surveyor and Valuer Fatima Olowo Kure. There were some questions that were asked with respect to that report, and answers were also provided to those questions. The report was overall applauded after further explanations by the Honorary National Treasurer. There were other issues mentioned in connection with that report. Please, you can look through that item for further details. I take us to dissolution of the 2018 to 2020 National Council. The motion for dissolution of that council was moved by Estate Surveyor and Valuer Mrs. Fatima Olowo Kure, and the motion for dissolution of the council was seconded by Estate Surveyor and Valuer B. Adesonya after the call for a motion for dissolution of the council. Report of the Electoral Committee and ratification of the reports. I won't bore us with the details, but you can see that on page 24, page 25, page 26, page 27, page 28, page 29, page 30, page 31, page 32, and page 33. The report of the Electoral Committee literally stated the procedures that were adopted for that election, as well as announcement of the officers for the new council year. Included in the report of the Electoral Committee were also recommendations to the institution on how best to conduct better and more transparent elections going forward. On page 33, we have acceptance speech by the 24th President. That speech is well articulated in the minutes from page 33, page 34, page 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, and the conclusion ends at page 44. The report of the acceptance speech of the President detailed his appreciation for being voted in as the President. He stated his covenant with Niesv and began to declare his agenda for the institution. And among them, I'll take the headings: aggressive drive for membership growth, capacity building, welfare improvement, advocacy, mediation and reconciliation, alternative source of revenue, national secretarial development, secretariat restructuring, relationship with the board, post-COVID-19, and finally his conclusion, where he continued to encourage us to support the growth and the development of this great institution. I move on to page 45. On page 45, we have the constitution of the Electoral Appeal Committee for 2020 election. The names of persons who were nominated into that committee are aptly stated. There are 5 persons, led by Estate Surveyor and Valuer Olorogun James Omeru. Still on that page, we have Constitution of Electoral Committee for 2021 Council Year. That committee equally is headed by Estate Surveyor and Valuer Henry Omosigo, with other members listed on that particular item. Appointment of honorary auditors. We had Estate Surveyor and Valuer Chibuike Emele and Buki Olalekan Alarape, even though along the line that was corrected to, along the line the correction on that nomination will be taken. Adjournment. The President, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Sir Chief Emmanuel Okaswike, thanked everyone present physically and virtually, and the motion for adjournment of the meeting was moved by S.A. Surveyor Anvala Folari Babatunde, and seconded by S.A. Surveyor Anvala Oluwaseun Ali. On page 47, you have minutes of the extra of the EGM, which I think would be part of what we can read on our own, since what we are discussing primarily at this AGM is the minutes of the last AGM. Mr. President and Chairman of this AGM, the minutes have been presented for further deliberation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, the Honorary National Secretary. Noble colleagues, can I have a motion to adopt these minutes for discussion? Let me take Malam Bature. There's a lady raising hand behind. Did you raise your hand for? Yes, your name. Please stand up and. I can't hear you. Okay, you are supporting the motion. Okay, thank you. Matters arising. Observation? Yes, please.
I just want to say, my name is Estate Surveyor Anvala GTN Tabansi, that the beautiful presidential address we had, we did not move a motion to acknowledge it and support it. Would it not be necessary we do that as a document of the institution?
Okay, thank you. That was why I asked the question, whether do we have anything to discuss on it. Okay, so can I have a motion to adopt the presidential address? Okay, thank you. Who is seconding him? Ozili. Thank you. So, Bature have moved for adoption of the minutes and seconded by our Musumola. Am I correct? Okay, thank you. Noble colleagues, please, you pardon us. We will go page by page to get the matters arising. And if you find anyone, please, you can please raise it up. We apologize for that. So we'll start from page 13. You have the presidential, the validatory address by our IPP that runs up to page 19, page 20. Page 20, we have amendment of 2012 Constitution. Like I said, is there in one of the items agenda? You have item number 6. So at the appropriate time, we'll invite the chairman of the CRC to come and give us their report. Amendment of Code of Conduct, that has been done. Appointment of a trustee to replace Aki Olawori, that has been done. And it's also there in our agenda, ratification of appointment of trustees. So that is also there. At the appropriate time, we'll go ahead with that. The 50th anniversary celebration and Golden Jubilee, this has overtaken by event. Presentation of financial report, that was adopted, and I'm sure that in this meeting, the Honorary National Treasurer will also give us the report for the last 12 months. Dissolution of National Council, that was done. Electoral Committee report. Report on the election of Niesv representative in Ezabon, that was done. The names are there. Report on e-voting. I'm on page 25. Like I said, as you are going through, if you have any comment on any of these matters raised, please indicate by raising up your hands. And for those of us that are joining us virtually, please, if you have any comments, either use the chat room or you raise your hand for us to recognize you. So the electoral committee report got up to 29, 30, 31, 32, and ended in 33. Acceptance speech by the 24th president is on page 33. Those are for our information and records. That went through. That got up to page 45, page 43. Then page 45, you still have the electoral committee report on the election of appeal panel. That got up to page 46. Noble colleagues, any comments, any observation on any of the matter raised? We have just gone through that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chima.
Thank you, my president. Please permit me to stand on an established protocol. Appointment of honorary auditors. My name is Estate Surveyor and Valuer, MLA Moses Chukwumamba. I'm not Chibike MLA, sir.
You know what happened was that in that AGM, there was a little confusion. So in the EGM, it was corrected. Thank you. Any other comment? Yes? Is that Richard? The council himself.
Thank you, Mr. President. Standing on all existing protocols. Page 45, Constitution of Electoral Committee for 2021 Council. I remember I did the nomination of ESV Abayomi Bishola, but...
Which page, sir? 45.
Line 8, and the name for nominated by was missing.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the observation. The secretary will get that and will ensure that it's included. Secretary, please take note. Any other one? Any other comments? So can we adopt this as our documents, having discussed it? Motion. Motion. Yes?
Mr. President, I move that this be adopted as a document for...
Your name, sir?
I am ESV, Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Isaiah Babatunde.
Okay, thank you. Any seconder? I like, okay, let me take Unigwe. Azubike. Oh, I've already have.
Mr. President and distinguished noble colleagues, my name is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Azubike Onigwe, and I hereby second the motion.
Thank you. So we now call on the National Secretary to present the minutes of the extraordinary general meeting of 12 September 2020. Have you done it? Huh? No, this is minutes. You've done the minutes of AGM, out of the EGM. I'm not going to do it. No, see, we presented the one for AGM. We did EGM. This is the report now. That we're not going to adopt it. Noble colleagues, we have another minute of our EGM.
Mr. President, Chairman of Council, once again, permit me to stand on already established protocols. On page 47, you have the minutes of the extraordinary general meeting of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, which held on Saturday, 12 September 2020 at Ritz Continental Hotel, Abuja. On that page, you have the attendance. 48 equally captures the attendance, 49 captures attendance, 50, 51, 52, page 53, up to page 57. Proceedings of that particular EGM The meeting was called to order at 11:28 a.m. with opening prayer said by S.A. Surveyor Valua Emeka Honora, a Board of Trustee member. We have the opening speech of the President and on page 58, and his opening speech took us through page 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, page 64, and page 65. The opening speech of Mr. President delved on areas that bordered on the welfare of members, advocacy, mediation and reconciliation, alternative source of revenue, national secretarial development, secretarial restructuring, acknowledgements, as well as mentions on matters that border on re-election of fellow as internal auditor, reconstitution of the Constitutional Review Committee, re-election of a fellow as representative of Ezabon, as well as ratification of electoral committee results. Still on page 65, we have re-election of a fellow as internal auditor, where the correction was made as to the nomination of S.A. Surveyor Valua Chibike Emele, who was replaced by S.A. Surveyor Valua Emele Moses Chukwumankpa. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that properly. The nomination was seconded by S.A. Surveyor Valua Matthew Ojo. Page 66, nomination of Constitution Review Committee members. The list of those members are well captured in the document before you. Re-election of one vacant fellow's position as Ezabon representative. In that particular election, S.A. Surveyor Valua, Mrs. Uche Egwatu, was declared the winner after a transparent round of electronic voting. Ratification of electoral committee results. Report of the electoral committee to the emergency general meeting. For this particular item, the electoral committee gave procedures as well as various activities that led to the elections to fill in 2 vacant positions. The results, of course, were declared, and appreciations and recommendations were given in that report by the Electoral Committee Chairman. The list of committee members were equally captured on page 769 and dovetails to page 70. Welcome right, of course, was performed with the details of supports mentioned in that particular item. The meeting closed at 1:30 p.m. with a prayer said by S.A. Surveyor Valua Umoru Salamat. Distinguished noble colleagues, we equally had another extraordinary general meeting in the course of the past council year, and the minute is as captured in page 71 as minutes of the extraordinary general meeting of the Nigerian Institution of S.A. Surveyors and Valuers held on Saturday, June 5, 2021 at Sheraton Lagos Hotel, Abuja. Again, on page 71, we have the attendance. The attendance dovetails up to page 75, as well as other vital statistics of the attendance. On page 76, we have proceedings of the meetings captured, call to order, quorum, apology, and the President's opening remarks. His opening remarks starts from page 76, 77, 79, and terminates at page 80. In the President's opening remark, he literally gave an update on what the management was doing and intended to do, while equally assuring the membership of the decision or the determination of management to move the institution forward. Within the President's remarks were mentions about Lasera matter, as well as how far management and council had gone in intervening in that matter. The President, of course, closed his remarks by thanking members for their cooperation and asking for further support in the course of the council year. On page 80, we have presentation, discussion, and adoption of the report of the Constitutional Review Committee. The Constitutional Review Committee made a presentation which is captured on page 80. That report takes us through page 81, page 82, page 83, and page 84. In the report of the, on page 83, ended page 83. In the report of the Electoral Committee, the basic headings were the purpose of the current review as contained in the terms of reference. On page 82, it continues by stating that scrapping of the position of Assistant National Treasurer were one of the things to consider in the review. The establishment of forums, talking about the Young SURVEYORS and Valuers Forum as well as the Women's Wing. Inclusion of chairmen of business groups or fora in council. On page 3, equally has as part of the items to be looked at as uniform bylaws of business groups or forums of NIGERIANs. The report of the chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee ended at page 33, and that report was extensively discussed by members. Members took various aspects of the proposed draft of the Constitution, and quite a number of observations and amendments were made. Please, I'll crave your indulgence to look through page 84, page 85, for some of the items or articles of the proposed draft that were amended for want of time. On page 86, we have other discussions really bordering on the review of the Constitution. Page 87 equally captures further proposed or further suggestions with respect to review of the Constitution. The articles concerned are equally well articulated on page 87. Page 88 is the last page that equally captures further articles that were touched on, as well as a motion to adopt the amended Constitution as the new Constitution of the institution. That particular EGM came to a close at 4:44 p.m., and the closing prayer was said by SS Surveyor and Valuer Additional Ganiu at 4:45 p.m. Permit me to note that the last page, line 350, is not BPS but ESV, additional, and Ganiu is G, not DANIYU. Thank you, Mr. President and Chairman of Council.
Thank you very much, the Honorary National Secretary. Please, can I have a motion to adopt this report for discussion? Yes, Jambil.
Mr. President and Chairman of AGM, my name is ESV Jambil Siyuti. I stand to move the motion to adopt the minutes of AGM.